Sean, you said Nicholas Savona might have to go, or it's going to see a specialist. I wonder if you've got any update on him and anyone else you were sort of worried about.
Yeah, it's just a settling period now. Over the next sort of 5 to 7 days, and then I'll make another decision on whether it's going to need intervention or not. Nothing too drastic, but we'll keep him out for a bit of time, so we'll probably know more in the next week.
Obviously, you said you've got offers that are being assessed at the moment. How busy are you expecting the next few days to be, and defence midfield, are they two of the positions you're looking at as
well? We'll see. I mean, I've said all along, and since I've been at the club, the owners made it clear we'll support the club. But they are a trading club. They have been, from the outside when I saw that, everyone knows that. So it depends what's available. It depends people can possibly going out, but more likely looking to people to come in. So, I mean, it depends. It's not easy. I've said all along, and, I don't throw it around lightly like most of my comments. I've been doing it a long time, and these transfer windows are really difficult, and January is probably the most difficult of all. But we are active in certain situations, and we'll see if we can get above the line.
Realistically, because it's still I know you've had some players leave, but it's still relatively large squad. So realistically, how easy is it to bring players in without players going as well?
Well, it's relatively large when everyone's fit, and we got here and there was a real big injury list. Then we got people back, and there's still a few now getting injured, and then the balance of it, and then you got the Europa League and the two different squads, and how many people qualify and all that sort of stuff. So. Yes, there's numbers there, but they don't all qualify for both groups. So it still needs some managing. It still needs some applying that to the rest of the Europa stages. Now that there's a chance to change it, but it's who you can change it with. So it's honestly, it's more tricky than what you think. I would put it that way.
Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Looking ahead then at Palace, I think the noise around the club at the moment, poor form, loss of their captain in the window, and then of course the uncertainty of who their manager will be at the end of the season. From the outside in, it looks like it's a good time to play Palace. So what do you think Forest need to do to make things difficult for them and take advantage of the situation?
Got to perform well. Simple as that. I don't bother with all that noise because it doesn't guarantee anything. I've been on the other side of that when it's not going your way, and I've been on the correct side of it. It doesn't guarantee any. The thing you can look to guarantee is your performance, and if you get that right, you've got every chance of succeeding in a game and winning. We've got to get that right. I don't honestly. I'm not just playing it down. I don't look at that. I've been doing this a long time now in the Premier League, and so many times you think you can hit someone when they're having a bit of a low period, and bang, it goes against you. And so many times when they're having a high period, you think, oh, this is going to be a tough one. And then you win, There's no guarantees, but I think we're in a good place at the moment. I like the squad and the way they're performing. I like the energy of the squad and the commitment to what it is. And the group, there's a good group here. That's what we're looking at and going performing against Palace. But like I say, we take nothing for granted. So we've got to work hard.
I guess on that then, having experience on both sides of that scenario with noise around the team, etc., is there an element of preparation around unpredictability then? Is that something that you'd even think about?
No, it's not. You can't. Football's not a predictable game. If it was, we'd all be geniuses. It surprised you in so many different ways. But what we can do is prep on what we know about them, and then they'll be doing the same for us, by the way. But sort of work around what we do as well. And I think that's important. I was saying to the lads, recently, is of course we have to make you aware of the opposition, but it always comes down to what we do. So I think we focus on that.
And then just one last one from me. I don't know whether this is something made up a little bit more from the fans than it is you guys in the dressing room yourselves, but obviously after the activity over the summer, there seems to be a newly formed rivalry between Forest and Crystal Palace. Is that something that you guys have felt at all? I've
never heard about it. I don't know where that's come from, apart from the obvious wrangles over Europe, but I've never thought. I don't think it's a derby game, that's for sure. No, that's nothing to do with me. I've got good people I know at Palace, and they're a good outfit and a good club and well run, and they've had brilliant success last season. Different kind of this club had brilliance. They had different kind of success. A tough period at the moment. That happens. Football's not easy, but no, there's certainly nothing from me other than wanting to win a game.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
Sure. You'll have Ellis back on Sunday. Have you had a word with him about what happened in Prague? I mean, I wasn't actually there, but did he ever get an explanation as to what he's supposed to do?
He just threw his arm up and said the usual. Yeah. That was it. the usual. It depends what referee got, doesn't it? Some just go, yeah, all right, and some don't. That's the way it goes. But he'll learn from that. He's not like that. He just a moment. Yeah, but to be honest, he's unlucky. He's right next to the ref. If he's 20 yards away, nothing gets said anyway. I just find it amazing. I'm going to tell you again why they get you on that and you get a red card. But when people feign injury and everyone knows they've feigned injury, nothing happens. People know they're done, nothing happens. So I just go, I can't work it out, but I don't worry anymore. Just get on with it.
Is it just the one game as well? He just missed?
Yeah, one, yeah.
Sean, just
Oh, he's done a great job, without a doubt. I mean, you know, the one thing about football, and it shows you how complex it can be. At the beginning of last season, people forget they wanted him out. And by the end of the season, they're thinking he's a saviour and won a cup, you know, and all that sort of stuff. And that's football for you. That's the way it is in management. But no, he's done a very good job there, without a doubt. And the club have done a very good job. Steve Parish has done a brilliant job there over all the years. You know, there's many people there have done a good job. But of course, the manager has to front it up. You take the heat and you take the good stuff. So fair play to him, but obviously a different time now. That's the way football can be.
Sean, how important is momentum now this time of the season? Last week was a key week. All the teams in the lower half got results. Burnley got a result. West Ham got a result. You guys got a result as well. So momentum now, putting consecutive results together. Is that going to be the key over the next month or so?
It's not a key. It's not a key, but it's helpful. You know, it's not. There's no key to what it is, but it is helpful if you're building a mentality that can win games and you get that confidence level. It is helpful, without a doubt. I'd prefer to have momentum than not, but it has to be earned, it has to be built, and the players are doing a good job of doing that. But it doesn't guarantee the next one. It's not just about momentum, you've got to perform. I always look at performances and I always take it a game at a time. I've done that for years and it served me well.
Sure. In terms of possible income, how valuable is experience, Premier League experience? You've spoken before about, sometimes...
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Would that be if you were able to bring that in?
Yeah, if you can, that's helpful, because they've got a lot of young players in there. Not necessarily young in age, some of them, but young in their learning about the Premier League. But no, if you can bring experienced players into your group to kind of almost strengthen it in their understanding of the Premier League, then of course that helps. But it's not easy in January. Not many teams want to lose their own players or Premier League players, that's for sure. So it's not an easy task.